See, this is the third class for your solids, and we'll be solving the problem on hexagon prism. So this is your hexagon prism. Okay, so and this is the hexagon prism which is having a height of 50, which is given in problem, and the side he has given you is 25, 25, 25. Okay, we solved problems on square prism. Square prism is done. Then we did with the pentagon prism. Okay, and finally we'll be going with the hexagon prism. Okay, the problem is like this. This is the problem number 12 in the PDF which we have shared you. A hexagon prism of side 25 mm, side of base. Okay, the base side is given you as 25 mm. And 50 mm height. The height of the prism he has given you as 50 mm. Okay, is resting on HP. I told you we are solving solids. In solids, all the solids will be kept on HP only. Whereas in planes, there are few problems which we are placed on HP, and there are few problems which we are placed on VP also. Whereas in solids, all the solid problems will be placed on your HP only. Okay, it is placed on HP with which condition? Either it is with respect to edge or corner, it is with respect to your corner. That is the first condition. Okay, coming to the second condition. Draw the projections of the prism when axis is inclined. Axis is inclined. I told you when you come across this word, axis is inclined, then it is an apparent inclination problem. Okay, if you come across this word, when axis is inclined to HP. Okay, previously we had done with which one? Pentagon. It was the same condition. Axis is inclined to HP at an angle of 40. Okay, again on the same axis is inclined to HP only. Sorry, it is a VP. I missed this one. So and to VP at an angle of 30 degrees. Okay, to VP it is an angle at an angle of 30 degrees. Write down the condition. We have a hexagon prism which is kept on HP with respect to one of the corner. So it will be like this, the top view. This is your top view, first condition. You place a hexagon on the horizontal plane with respect to one of the corner. Fine. Then you will be drawing the top view and you will be drawing the front view also. The front view will look like this. You can see 1, 2, 3, and 4 edges is visible for the observer in the front view. Okay, that is first condition. Second condition, the axis should be inclined at an angle of 40 degrees. You kept on HP with respect to one of the corner. Now you're supposed to incline. Imagine this is your axis. The axis will be a pencil. The axis should get inclined at an angle of how much degrees? 40 degrees. After you inclined, the front view, imagine this is the front view, you're just inclining at an angle of 40 degrees. The front view will be like this. What will happen to your top view? The top view, when you incline like this, it will look like this. You can see one hexagon and 1, 2, 3 edges is visible. Finally, the same axis is inclined to VP at an angle of how much? 30 degrees. So same axis, first condition, second condition, third condition, you will incline like this. Okay, in third condition, you will incline like this. The front view will be like this. First condition, second condition, third condition will be like this in the front view. Okay, it is similar to the pentagon only. Okay, but the solid which has been changed here is, okay, instead of a pentagon prism, we have a hexagon prism. That's all. Fine, we'll start solving it. It's a corner resting hexagon. It will take a lot of time. So listen carefully. And if possible, you can start drawing with me. First, you'll be dividing the sheet into 2 equal halves. So that means when you draw a XY line on the sheet, you're dividing the sheet into 2 planes. You're dividing the sheet into 2 planes. Okay. This will be your X, and this will be your Y. Okay. So whatever it is above XY line is your vertical plane. It will be a vertical plane. Okay, whatever it is below XY line will be your horizontal plane. In the vertical plane, you can see the front view of the object. In the horizontal plane, you can see the top view of the object. Okay. Now, he has given the first condition. This is the first condition. You have to place the hexagon like this. What is the side of the hexagon? It is 25. In your compass, you just measure 25. Okay, you measure 25 in your compass. That is side of your hexagon. After measuring 25, okay, draw a circle. Draw a circle of radius 25. Draw a circle of radius 25. It is a corner resting. Yes or no? It is a corner resting. The object should be placed like this. The corner should come towards your right. Okay. So what I'll do is first I'll draw the diameter. Draw the diameter. It should be a thin line. So this is your midpoint. Keeping this as a midpoint, draw the diameter. It should be a thin line. Now we'll be taking this 25 in your compass. Okay. From this point, cut an arc on either side. Again from this point, the other end of the diameter, you'll be cutting an arc on the either side. That's all. Now take thick leaded pencil and construct the hexagon. That's all. A corner resting hexagon is being constructed. I'll repeat that. What is the side length? The side length he has given you as 25. Okay, using that 25, this is the side length. 25 he has given you. Okay, from any one particular point. Okay, you just see that from any one particular point, you will be drawing a circle of radius how much? 25. And after that, it should be a corner resting. Draw the diameter. From this corner, you cut an arc on either side. 25, 25. Okay, similarly, you keep your compass here and cut an arc on either side, 25, 25. You get these arcs, join it, you get the hexagon. Okay, understand it? Fine. It's visible. Now, we'll mark the points. So this is your midpoint. And you should mark the dimensions also. I told you how to draw the dimensions. See, you're supposed to draw two perpendicular lines. This is dimension extension lines from this edge. Okay, you're supposed to show the dimensions here. Fine, and join it. This is the dimension extension line. The gap between these two lines should be half a mm. And finally, draw the leader lines. That is your arrow mark, and mention this as 25. If you don't mention the dimension, again they'll cut one mark. Okay, fine. The top view is done. You kept the hexagon like this. Okay, when you're looking from the top, it looks like this. So when you're looking from the top, you can see a hexagon which we have drawn. Okay, shall we mark the points? Okay, I'll start from this point. So let this be point number A, B, C, D, E, F. And this is your O. Okay, A, B, C, D, E, F, and O. Similarly, this is A, and this will be your A1. This is B, and this will be your B1, C, C1, D, D1, E, E1, and F, and F1. And in the midpoint, we have O, and we have base axis called as O1. Okay, these points I'm writing it. Remember, this is A, B, C, D, E, F in a clockwise direction. Similarly, A1, B, B1, C, C1. In the top view, A, B, C, D is visible for you, where the bottom portion is not visible for you. That is why that we'll be writing in a bracket. Okay, I'll be marking the points. Okay, observe it. So let this be O, O1. Okay, I'll start from this point. Let this be A, A1. And this will be a point B, B1. This is your C, C1, D, D1, E, E1, F, F1. So you'll be having many points in case of this hexagon, you'll be having many points. So be careful. Okay, you'll be having a number of points here. So you can see this. Okay, so you have, what do you have? You have A1, B, B1, C, C1, D, D1, and E1, and FF1. So this is what we have drawn. A, B, C, D, E, F. And the bottom you cannot see A1, B1, C1, D1, E1, and F1. That is why I written in a bracket, including your axis, that is O1. Okay. Now we will draw the front view. See the front view. This is your top view. And when you rotate the object like this will be a front view. What you can see in the front view? 1, 2, 3, 4 edges is visible for the observer. Correct? 4 edges are visible for the observer. Now I'll draw that. Extend this line. What is the axis height? Axis height is 50. Remember, the axis height is 50. Extend this line from the axis, again from one of the corner, again the third corner, fourth and fifth corner, extend the line. Now raise the height. What is the height he has given you? Okay, it is 50. It will be axis length will be 50. Axis is thin and chain line. I am drawing the axis first. It is 5 boxes. It is thin and chain line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all. And draw the remaining edges. 1, 2. It should be thick. 3 and 4 edges which are visible for the observer, and finish this. Done. Okay. See here. This is the front view which you are able to see. In the top view, it looks like an hexagon. Okay. And the front view, 1, 2, 3, and 4 edges are visible, which we have drawn. In the middle, you can see the axis. This is nothing but your axis. It is a thin and chain line. It is a thin and your chain line. Now I'll mark the points. To mark the points here, and mark the points here. Okay, I told you the observer will be here. You'll start looking from this point. So when you're looking from this point, A, F, E, and D. Okay, so this is like this. When I rotate like this was my point A, A1, F, F1, E, E1, D, and D1. Behind these two edges, this one and this one, these two longer edges are not visible for the observer. That is which one? That is B and C. B and C won't be visible for the observer. Okay, that is why I'll be marking it. This first edge is A dash, A1 dash. Correct? Okay, that is the first edge. So when you're standing and looking from here, you can see F. This will be your F dash, F1 dash. Again, this point E, E dash, E1 dash, and this is your D dash and D1 dash. What about C and B? C and B will be behind, so it won't be observed. It won't be visible for the observer. I'll mark that also. Okay, so C you will be getting it here, C dash in bracket, C1 dash, and we have to mark the axis also. This is O dash, which will be in bracket. Axis won't be visible for the observer. Okay, axis won't be visible for the observer. It is O dash, and this will be O1 dash. Okay, and behind F we have B. This will be a B dash, and this will be a B1 dash. Done. Fine. Show the height. The axis length which he has given is how much? 50. The axis length which he has given is 50. Show that also. That is, extend this line, dimension extension line. Okay, and show this length as. This length will be how much? 50. Height. Okay, the height length is 50. Fine. Now, what is the second condition? The second condition is given as axis is inclined at an angle of 40 degrees. Okay, that means first condition we have drawn the object like this, and we had a hexagon. Okay, in the second condition, this hexagon you should tilt it. At what angle you're supposed to tilt? Such that the axis, this pencil, imagine this pencil is the axis which is passing inside, such that this axis should be at an angle of 40. Okay. We cannot draw the axis first. That is why what we'll do is, the second object you're supposed to get it like this. After inclining, After, if you incline like this was the first condition. The second condition, when you incline like this angle you're supposed to get it as 40. Fine, this you cannot draw. But you know that if this angle is 40, consider this triangle. This angle will be 90 degrees. What will be the remaining angle? The remaining angle will be 50 degrees. That means what? If axis is inclined at an angle of 40, what will be your base inclination? The base will be inclined at an angle of 50. That is why we will draw the base first. Once you draw the base first, automatically the axis will get inclined at an angle of 40 degrees. Okay, you're understanding why we are drawing the base first? This will be 50. Okay, because the interior angle of a triangle is almost 180. Okay, now this, okay, this solid will incline at an angle of how much? 40 degrees. The given condition. I cannot draw the 40 degrees first. That is why I'll be drawing the base. First, I'll draw the base at an angle of 50. If I draw that, I'll get the axis at 40. You can keep your protractor somewhere here. Okay, don't leave much gap between first condition to second condition. Third condition, you won't have much space to draw. Fine. So let this be point somewhere here. From this point, measure the angle. How much? You're supposed to measure 50. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. You're supposed to measure 50. Okay, join it. Okay, now take the measurement of the base. So the total length is how much? 5 boxes. See, because this you're drawn at a length of how much? Radius of 25. Then diameter will obviously it will be 50. So this total length will be how much? 5 boxes. So from this, finish the base. Complete the base. The base is inclined at an angle of 40, which I have drawn. First, I have drawn this, okay, at an angle of 50 degrees. So if I draw this, finally the axis I'll get at an angle of 40 degrees. Okay. Now we'll complete the box. First, we'll complete the box. So this is a square box. Remember, this is a square box. If this is 50, this is also 50. Okay, measure this length. So from this point, cut an arc. Again, from the other corner, you cut an arc. And you can take the diagonal length. You can take the diagonal length and you can cut an arc from the two corners. Okay, you can do that. Otherwise, I told you in the last class, you can draw a perpendicular line for this. So you can draw, this one will be at 90 degrees. Again, you can draw a perpendicular line. And similarly, this side also you can draw a perpendicular line. Okay, you can draw a perpendicular line. What should be the total length, height of that one? 50. So from this point, you cut an arc. Again, from this point, you cut an arc. That's all. So that method also you can follow. Join it and complete the second condition, front view. Join it and complete the second condition, front view. Total length is how much? Don't unmute yourself. Okay, this is the second condition. So this is a 0.5. And this length is, you can do it arc method or you can use a protractor and draw a perpendicular line for this. And that method also you can do it, but draw it perfectly. Okay, so draw it perfectly. So you got it. Now transfer the other lines, other points, this point, these two edges and the axis. Okay, transfer these two edges and the axis. Take this, measure this length. Okay, one of the edge, from this point you cut an arc. Again, from the opposite side, you cut an arc. See, you need this 1, 2, and 3 lengths. Okay, what I'm taking is this length from this one edge to other edge, I'm taking and cutting an arc. Okay, you get this point. The opposite side, the length is same. I'm cutting this point. So I need the axis also. Measure this length. That is exactly in the middle. Okay, so you cut an arc. Fine, nice. Join it. So join it. Axis should be a thin line. and it should be a chain line. Okay, then you join the next edge. The last edge, join it. Fine. Extend this axis back. Now extend the axis back. When you're extending it back, it should be a thin line. Okay, when you're extending it back, it should be a thin line. Axis only belongs to the solid, it should be a chain line. So when extending it should be a thin line. Now you measure this angle. So when you measure this angle, see, it is exactly 40. So you'll be getting exactly 40. You understood now? So this is 40. If you draw the base at an angle of 50, you will get the axis at an angle of 40. The second condition is done. Okay, now transfer all the points. This will be your A dash, F dash, A dash, and A1 dash, F dash, F1 dash, and this will be O dash in bracket. This will be O1 dash. This will be your E dash, E1 dash, D dash, D1 dash, and here you have C dash, and you have C1 dash. This is your F dash and B dash. This will be your B1 dash. The same points, whatever the points you have, just transfer it here. Fine. The second condition is clear. It was like this. The first condition was like this. Second condition, you just have to incline at an angle of 40 degrees. Okay, which you can see in your front view. Now I'll draw the top view. Okay. Now extend the top first. Okay. Before that, the first condition, top view, you extend all the lines. Draw thin projection lines. We call this as projection lines. Extend all the lines. You get 3 lines here. Extend it. Okay, now I'll start from the top. This is my A dash. You start extending the point A dash until it reaches this point of the top. The point A dash is coming from here. The point A is coming from here. This will be your point A. Similarly, B, the point B is here. Extend it till the down so that this will be your point B, because the point B is coming from here. Okay, and the point B dash is coming from here. This will be a coinciding point. And similarly, F is also coming from here, and the point F is coming from here. This will be your point F. Now, O axis also, you are supposed to draw the axis also. Extend from the axis. Also, you drop a line. Okay, this will be your O. And similarly, this is your point E. Extend it down. Okay. So E is coming from here. This is your point C. E dash is coming from here, and this is E is coming from here. This will be a point E. And finally, the point D. Drop it down. So you'll be getting the point. Which one? D. Fine, you got this. As soon as you get this top view, join it. Please join it and complete the sketch. See, imagine. See, how do you get this view? If a person is standing here, okay, imagine you're standing here. So imagine this is a person is standing here. So when you're looking from here, okay, you can see this pentagon. That is a hexagon. That is nothing but this one. See here, the first condition was like this. The second condition, I incline like this. Now, when you project a light from the top, or when you're standing up, can you see this hexagon? You can see this hexagon, right? That is what I've written here. Okay. After that, which edges you can see? There are only 2 longer edges which you can see. That is this one and this one. That we will draw here. And the remaining thing, whatever it is in the bottom, which is not visible for you, it will be dotted. Okay. Similarly, now we'll go with the base. Finish this one first, then we'll go with the base. We'll start extending the point A until it meets the point A. This will be your A1. Okay, again, similarly F and B you will get. You will be getting O here. You will be getting C and E. And finally, you will be getting D. Okay, this is my point A1. Here you'll be getting B1. This is your C1. This will be your D1, E1, F1, and this will be your O1. The top, first I coincided with the top. Now you should extend the base and you should coincide with the base. Now, about the hidden lines, okay? How do you find the hidden lines now? You can check. First, join the exterior part. That is the extreme end points, you just join it off. Whatever is there in the extreme end, make that thick first. B2, B1, A to A1, sorry, F, and then finally the extreme. See the extreme portion, you just join it off. Then you go with the now A to A1. Start joining from A to A1, the longer edge. Now you can see C to C1 we have joined, B to B1 longer edge, A to A1 longer edge, F to F1 and E to E1 we have joined. The only one longer edge which we is left out is D to D1. What will happen to D to D1? The point D to D1. I'm repeating this. A to A1 is one of the edge. So that is this A to A1, B to B1, C to C1, D to D1. Okay, everything we have joined except D to D1 is not being joined. Okay, so we'll start joining from D to D1. It will be dotted. Okay, because here you have drawn this hexagon. Okay, this was your point A, B, C, D. See, this is D. So this edge, can you see this edge when if I keep like this? You cannot see this edge. That is why from D to D1 it is dotted. And which are the hidden points? You can ask what about axis? First, you're supposed to give the preference for edge. Here you can see from the point O to O1, we have axis also. Okay, but axis and the edge are getting coincided. So, but that is why we will give the preference for edge first. Okay. Now, which are the points which will be in bracket? Imagine you kept it like this. Okay. A1 and this was your B1. In the bottom, you have two other points. In the bottom, you have two other points. That is nothing but your C1, which you cannot see. O1, you cannot see because the O1 is here. Okay, which you cannot see. And D, can you see the point D? No, you cannot see. And the point E, can you see? No. This is not completed. What about the base hexagon? We have joined from A to B, B to C. What about C to D? This we have forgotten. Okay, so that we are supposed to join. What will happen to this? Whether it will be C or it will not be seen, it will be hidden. Again, C to A will be dotted. A to E, again this also will be, sorry, D to E also will be dotted. Understood? Okay. This is the top hexagon. When I incline like this, the observer can see from the top view this hexagon. Can you see this edge? Okay, you can see this surface and this surface. That is nothing but this surface, and these two surfaces is visible for the observer. Okay, so that we have drawn. Yeah, you get 3.8 or 3.9 second axis. First axis is 50, second axis 3.8 you will get. We'll draw the beta angle. We'll find the apparent inclination, how much you will get. Start from this point. Okay, keep your compass here. Okay, sorry, protractor, and measure 30 degrees. So measure 30 degrees. That is the first axis inclination which he has given you in the problem. He has told the first axis is inclined at an angle of 30 degrees. So this is your 30 degrees. Okay. So when you extend this back, obviously it will touch the XY line at an angle of 30 degrees. Okay. Why we are drawing it at the bottom? You know that because this solid should not go above. That is why we are drawing it a bit down, 2 boxes down. Now measure the first axis length. The first axis length is how much? 50. The first axis length is 50. I'll measure it. from any one particular point. So you can take any one particular point and cut an arc. As soon as you cut an arc, mark the point. This will be your O and this will be your O1. Okay, the first axis length I have cut O to O1, 50. After that, what do? You draw the locus. You'll be drawing the locus at the point O1. Then what will you do? You'll measure the second axis length O to O1. That is second axis length. You will be getting somewhere around 3.8 or 3.9. Okay, that measurement you will take again from the same point. Okay, you'll be cutting an arc, join it. This is your O1, which is in bracket. Okay, so join this until the point O and extend it back. What is the beta angle you will be getting? That is the actual solution. You will be getting 41 degrees beta angle. So the beta angle you will be getting 41 degrees. Fine. Okay. You can show this here, 41 degrees. Fine. Then next thing, I'll draw one hexagon. Okay. So I'll be drawing one hexagon, and similarly I'll draw the parallel lines which I did yesterday in the pentagon problem, and we'll construct it. Okay. You have this point O. This is the point O which we have already have, and we have the point O1 in bracket we have here. In the same line, observe carefully, in the same line we'll be getting two more points, that is D. In the same line, on the 41 degree line, you are supposed to get D. Again, you'll be getting the point A, D1, A1. So what we'll do, we'll mark all the 4 points which we will be getting on the same line. So it will be easy for us to construct it. Okay, you extend this line. Now you can see O, already we have O to D you measure. O to D, you measure it. So this is nothing but O to D. Here you will be getting the point D. I'll erase this angle so that it will be easy for us to draw. So this is a point D. Okay. O to A you measure. This is your point O to A. This is the point A. Similarly, again, which one? O to, you can measure from O to D1 you can measure. Otherwise, you can go back to this point. Okay. O1 to A1 and O1 to D1 both will be same. Measure that. That is O to A. It has to come on this line only. So here you will be getting A1. In opposite you will be getting D1. So this is your point D1 in bracket, and this is your point A1. Okay. See this line I have drawn on a 41 degree line. That's all. See, first we had the point O we had, and we had O1. Okay. O to D you measure, O to D you will be getting here, and O to A you measure, A you will be getting here. This is the point A you got. And similarly, O1 to D1, you measure, you cut an arc. And similarly, O1 to A1 you will be getting it here. We'll construct this hexagon first. Okay. Listen, how can we construct it? You can take any points. I'll take from the point A to B. I'll take it from A to B. That is A to B. I'll cut an arc. Okay. And A to F is same. Correct? A to F, I'll cut an arc. Now you take it from O to B. Okay, O to B you take, and this is O to B. This is your point B. As soon as you cut the arc, mark it. This is your point B. And O to G you take. This is your O to G. Sorry, FF. This is your point F. I've taken from O to B. First I took it from A to B. A to B I cut an arc. Again O to B. Again A to F, and O to F. Similarly, opposite side. I'll take it from D to C and O to C. D to C, I'll cut an arc. O to C, because both the lengths are same in this case. Similarly, D to E, which will come this side, and O to E. This is my point O to E. Fine, this is your point E, and this is your point C. Join it. So you have to draw this hexagon very carefully. If there is any change in this sketch will change. Okay, so you have to draw it perfectly. Only this object, the second condition top view, you are tilting at an angle of 41 degrees, which you have found out. Okay, it is just nothing but it is tilting. So you are supposed to draw the exact replica of this. There should not be any changes in this. If this figure changes, this entire sketch will change. Okay, join it and complete the third condition. Fine. So as you know that I told you in the last class, we need not draw this. What we'll do is we'll just draw the parallel lines. Okay, parallel lines to your 41 degree angle. Parallel lines to your 41 degree angle. Just draw a parallel line here. Again, move the scale and draw one more parallel line. That's it. Now you take any one of the length. You can take from B to B1. If you take from B to B1, C to C1, D to D1, E to E1, F to F1, and O to O1, all the lengths will be same. So what I'll do is I'll just cut an arc. This is B to B1, C to C1, again A to A1 already we have. This is your C1, okay, and F to F1, E to E1, okay. This sketch only you're drawing here. There'll be no changes in the hidden lines, and there'll be no changes in the points also. Only this object you rotated like this. This was a second condition. Okay, the second condition top view was like this. The second condition top view only you have inclined at an angle of 45 degrees, 41 degrees. Hidden lines, everything will be same. Okay, the object is only rotated. Okay, the same thing you are supposed to draw it here at an angle of 41 degrees. And finishing off this object, top view, third condition, top view. So this is dotted, that is D1 to E1 is dotted. C1 to D1 is again dotted. And we had this point. That is D to D1 is dotted. This is a point O. This is O1. Fine. We're done with it. We'll complete this. The condition front view. Okay. Please be careful. See here, you can see when I start drawing, extending this line, these two will get coincided. So the point D is below and the point A is above. Okay. What I'll be doing is only the base I'll concentrate. Forget about the top. We'll draw the top later. Only the base lines you extend. You'll be getting many lines. Draw it very carefully. Okay. Many lines will get coincided. Okay, first you draw this line parallel. I'll start from the point A1 of the base. That is A1 dash of the base. I'm starting it. You can see. Okay. Again from the point O1, extend it. Okay, and the third edge extended. See, this line should be parallel. Otherwise, the view will change. Okay, please draw it parallelly. If there is any change in 1 centimeter or 2 centimeters, the entire sketch will go wrong. So it should be just a parallel line which will be drawing it. And from this point also, draw a parallel line. Again from the other edge, draw a parallel line. Now, first these parallel lines you draw from the base. Now I'll extend from the base. So you should remember that this is the top, this is the base of the prism. Okay, you start from the point A1. This is my A1. I'll start from the point A1. Okay, observe carefully. So A1, I'm extending it. until it reaches the point A1 dash. The point A1 is coming from here and the A1 dash is coming from here. Okay, this is the coinciding point. Now B, extend B until it meets the point B1 dash. So this is your B1 dash. This is C, extend it until it meets the point C1 dash. This is your C1 dash. Stop it, don't extend it, and then later on search for the points. You're supposed to stop the line until it coincides. So wherever it coincides, you just stop it. Okay, and even this D, okay, the D will be stopped. You have 1 mm gap. Yeah, this is my D1 dash. After that, E, it's in the point E. So point E will be coming here. So it will be here, E1 dash, F, extend F. See, F1 dash is coming from here. Okay, this is the F1 dash. So this is your F1 dash, and finally the axis. Don't forget the axis. We need the axis point also. So this is your which point? O1 dash. You understood? See, carefully you are supposed to extend. Now, if there is any extra line, please erase that. Now you complete this. Now you complete the base hexagon. Base of the hexagon, you complete it. Done. You got this? Okay. So done. You complete the base. The base, we have coincided with the base. See, this is the base and this is the base. See, these two base we have coincided. Now we'll go with the top, and we have the top here. Okay, these two tops will coincide here. You'll be getting it here. Okay, I'll finish it fast. Observe carefully. Now again, the similar manner, extend this parallel lines A. After that, you have D. Okay, and after that O you have. Again, the other two edges extended. Draw carefully because there'll be another number of lines which will get coincided. Don't get confused. Okay, that is why first you'll be drawing this parallel line. So this parallel line should be drawn perfectly. So it should be parallel to one another. And this one, A. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 parallel lines should be drawn. There should be equal distance between this. Okay, be careful. Just similarly, after drawing this, now you start from the point A. A to A1, B to B1, C to C1, D to D1, E to E1. Okay, that's it. So we'll just extend this from point A to A1. So this is my point A1. So this A dash, erase the extra line. This is an extra line. And similarly, B, you start extending the B. So the point B is here. This is your B dash. Okay, because that is the front view. And you start extending the point C, C2, C dash. Where is C dash? Yeah, this is my point C dash. This is my point C dash, C here. Okay, and C dash is done. D, we'll go with the point D. D2, this is my point D dash. E, E2, E dash. This is my point E dash. F, F you extend it to your F dash. So this here you'll be getting F. Okay, please draw it carefully. So this will be your F dash, and we have an extra line here. Please erase that. Okay, and finally A, B, C, D, E, and F, which we have missed. We have missed with O. We'll extend the point O also, and this will be a point O dash. Okay, done. After getting the points, I told you, you should not join this. If you join this, you cannot find the hidden lines. Okay, not you're supposed to do. Now you're supposed to join which one? The longer edges. Which are the longer edges? A dash to A1 dash, B dash to B1 dash, C dash to C1 dash, D dash to D1 dash, E to E, F to F. The longer edges has to be joined. Now listen carefully. I'll start joining the longer edges. Okay, B, A to A1 I'll join. Okay, A to A1. Yeah, it is passing outside. Again, B to B1. Yeah, this also will pass outside. Okay, it will pass outside. A to A1 is also passing outside. B to B1 is passing outside. Okay, now come to C dash to C1 dash. When I start joining to C1 dash to C dash here, see, it will cut this one edge. It will cut this and it will pass inside this hexagon. Then it will become what? It will become dotted. Are you getting it? Okay. See, when I started joining from C to C dash, it will pass inside and it will cut this. That is why it become dotted. And coming to D to, I'll finish with E to E dash and D to D dash. See here, D to D dash, these two are getting coincided for me. For you, the sketch may be different, but don't worry. Whatever the sketch you get, actually the D to D1 should be inside. E to E1 will be passing outside. This E to E1 will be outside, and this D to D1, it will be inside. See here, E to E is outside, D to D dash will be inside. Okay, draw this carefully. And what about F? F to F is also outside. A dash to A1 dash, B dash to B1 dash, C dash to C1 dash is hidden, D dash to D1 dash is hidden, E dash to E1 dash is outside. Now you start joining this. Okay, whatever you get in the extreme ends, first you join at points because it will be visible for the observer. That will be thick. Okay, the extreme ends will be thick that you join. Now you should join from the point which one? B to C, C to D, okay, D to E. What will happen to B to C? It will be dotted. And C to D will be dotted. D to E also will be dotted because it is inside. The object, final object is like this. Okay, first condition, second condition, third condition is like this. This entire hexagon base you can see. Have we drawn this? 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3 edges are visible for the observer that we have drawn. Finally, B to C will be inside, it will become dotted. C to D is also inside, it will be dotted. And D to E also will be dotted. See, you cannot see this edge properly. Please try to draw it neatly. Okay, this also will be dotted. And which are the points which are in bracket? O1 dash, C dash, and D dash. And finally, we have the axis also. Axis is getting coincided. Axis is getting coincided for us. We'll see. Yeah, here you will be getting the axis. Try to show the axis also. Okay, that's it. Okay, 1, 2, 3. These three will be bracket. This is the final answer.